Okay. Can we hear me? This one now. Uh, all right, all right, all right. Are we good? Okay. All right, all right, all right. Good evening, everybody. So good to have you. Thank you so much for joining the Zoom link. I can see you all. Thank you. But I'm not sure I can hear anybody. Okay. Sorry, it's a live broadcast, so you cannot hear me, right? No, you can hear me, but I cannot hear you until you come on board. Oh, good evening, preachers. Preacher Shadrach, good to have you. Such a pleasure to be here. So Sophie, yeah, Sophie will start the Zoom and share the slides there. All right. So we're going to be having the slides there. Appreciate you all. Thank you so much for joining. Tonight is a beautiful night. I see that there is a lot that we're going to be covering tonight. I see 5 people already joining. Please give me my phone. Let's go to Facebook and see what's there. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh boy. Okay. Welcome to the Mentorship Impact session. We're starting right now. Thank you so much, Vivian. Good to see you. We're starting right away. I just want to be sure that the Zoom link is up also, so that we can be all together in the same place. Those that are joining on Zoom, those that are joining on Facebook Live, we can have every one of us together, right? Okay, I think we're good to go here. Okay, so who is the host for Zoom? Okay, now I need to get. So we cannot do the Zoom. Let's just go on with our Facebook Live, and we'll do Facebook Live and the YouTube. I think that those two are fine for us. So let's share the link. Let's share the link and get people to join us. So let's share and get people to join us. All right, appreciate you all. Thank you so very much. Anybody on Facebook yet? All right, so I'll just go ahead to begin. Please let me know. Let me know if you can hear me. Good evening, Formation. Thank you so very much. It's good having you. Vivian, thank you. It's good to have you, Shadrach. Thank you, everyone that's joined. Thank you so very much. I'm going to have us begin almost immediately. So the YouTube is on, Facebook Live is on. I'm waiting for the host. Okay, I'm waiting for the host of our Zoom link to put the Zoom link up. And let's see how we will go tonight. All right, I appreciate you. So those on Facebook, please let me know if you can hear me, if we're together. I believe that by next time we'll be doing better than this. All right. I believe very strongly that by next time we're doing better than this. All the necessary things are being put together. All the necessary things are being put together so that we can all be on the same page. I appreciate you all. I do not know if YouTube has any feature for sharing. Yes, I think they do. So let me see how I can share this. But my change, okay. So let me know on YouTube if you can see me. All right, are we good? Ooh. Okay. The challenge I have with this now is that I will not be able to get I will not be able to get us into the studio. All right, thank you very much. So let's get other people on board. So Sophie, let's just use the YouTube and Facebook Live. So let's share the YouTube link so that people can join. We'll just do the Facebook Live, right? All right. Okay, Sophie, I think. Okay, beautiful. If you start the Zoom, still better. If you can't, we're still good. Whatever the case, we're good. All right. So thank you very much. I want to specially welcome every one of you to this mentorship session. Now, the way I want this session to be is for us to be able to interact, but that will happen as we move on. Okay, thank you very much. The Zoom link is on, so we have the Zoom on already. I want to be sure you can hear me on Zoom and also see me. Oh, amazing. We have people on Zoom already. Good evening. Yeah, good evening. Good to have you. Good to have you on Zoom. Amazing. All right. Thank you so much. Please. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. So I'll have Sophie to do a quick, just a short intro, and then we'll get this begin. We'll get this to begin. Sophie, can we have you just do just a short talk? But what that means is that you need to be on YouTube also, so that we can, those of us on YouTube can listen to you. All right. Thank you. I hope everybody is not leaving YouTube to go to Zoom. I'm sharing my screen on YouTube, please. Good evening. Good evening. All the technical stuff, yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Yes, you are. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sophie. So good to have everyone. Good to have you all. I appreciate you. Thank you for taking out this time to be here with me. On Facebook, I want to say thank you. On YouTube, thank you. On Zoom, which is our primary um, mentorship link, I want to say thank you. Thank you all. I can't be calling your names right now. I'm sure we'll do that when we're rounding up. But I just want to go ahead. I see many of us are joining on Facebook. I see Samuel Leojo, Gohira, Felix. Thank you so very much. Appreciate you. All right. So what I'm going to do now is to go straight to what we have for today, so that we can have the introduction. And after we've done the introduction, we can now go ahead to go into the details of what we have for tonight. All right. So the topic, like you already know, or the theme we're considering is know where you're going. Know where you're going. It sounds very simple. It sounds very cliche sometimes. It can actually sound cliche. But beyond that, there is something about this particular topic that is beyond just the name or just the words that we've put together. Know where you're going. There are many people that think that they know where they're going, but actually do not know where they're going. One of the things I've come to see, especially in our present world, is the fact that there are many people who, my word for them is, they have used busyness, no, not business now, but busy, when you're busy, busyness and noisiness to replace progress and advancement. I say that again. There are people that have used busyness and noisiness to replace progress and advancement. These are not the same. And any attempt to think or to make them look the same will make us have troubles in life. One of the reasons why many people have troubles, especially when it has to do with coordinating themselves to move forward in life, to have progress, to have meaningful advancement, is because there is no clarity of purpose, there is no clarity of vision, there is no clarity of there's no understanding of destination. Now, destination is not a cliche. Destination is not one of those things that people talk about. Destination is reality. Destination can actually be known from where you start. It's the reason why we talk about vision, for instance. We talk about vision because vision shows you a picture of the end. It shows you a picture of what or where you're going to before you get there, right? Now, personal clarity is so important, and I have seen people miss out on it every time. Personal clarity, or the lack of it, is the reason why many times we have people who seem to be making a lot of strides. You know what I'm saying? And they're making, there's effort, right? But it's like you're on a treadmill. You know what a treadmill is? You can run on a treadmill, you can sweat on it, you can actually be seen to be doing a lot of work, but in essence, you are actually doing nothing because you're in the same place. All right. So the treadmill effect is one of the things I have seen happen a lot in our society, in our contemporary society. And not just that, it happens so much in the lives of young people. So we have a lot of young people, and please, this is not in any way to uh, stereotype any group or any age group. But there's something I've come to notice with Gen Zs. Gen Zs are very determined. They are highly confident. Oh, highly confident. But many times they lack clarity. A lot of them are doing things because, right? Uh, you are, you are, you are very confident in the little that you know sometimes, but you are not exactly sure of where you are and where you are going. So that personal clarity is something that is difficult for most people to be able to attain to. And the reason why it's difficult is because it's not something we teach. It's not something we preach. It's not something we talk about most times. Personal clarity sometimes is something that you only get to know if you have given yourself to much training or you have opportunity to sit under a kind of mentorship class like this. All right. So there are a few objectives that I've written down for us, which I'm thinking that we'll be able to cover for tonight. All right. My joy would be that at the end of my talk, it's not just that I've finished talking, but I've opened up opportunities for people to ask questions, for people to make contributions and stuff like that. So you use your comment box, use your what do you call that now? If you are on Zoom, just raise your hand and you'll be given the opportunity to speak. If you're on Facebook Live, send in your message, put it in the message box. And then, of course, the comment box will be able to pick it up and answer your questions. All right. So first, objective number one, we want to disrupt what I call functional aimlessness. Somebody's wondering, what is P-Nel saying now? What's P-Nel saying? There is what I call functional aimlessness, meaning that you can actually be functioning so much in aimlessness, meaning that there is no when you draw your arrow, when you pull the string of your arrow, of your bow, and you release that arrow, you're actually aiming at nothing. But you see the function, right, that comes with you. What do you call that now? There is something that comes with you working. So that function that you are carrying out sometimes may make you think that you are working, makes you think that you're progressing, but it's called functional aimlessness. So we want to break out of that trap. It's a trap. And many people, okay, I'm seeing some people, okay, please just keep them coming. All right, so functional aimlessness is one of the things we want to break out of. What is functional aimlessness? It is doing so much but achieving nothing. It is putting so much effort. Like I said, you pull your string, your arrow is already there, you release it, but you're actually targeting nothing. Nothing is coming in. And you're wondering what exactly is happening to me. There's nothing happening to you. You just don't have clarity. And because there's no clarity, you are aiming at nothing. Or you're just aiming randomly with the assumption and the hope that your arrow will just meet something. When hunters go into the farm, into the field, into the forest to go hunt, one of the things they try to do is to ensure that for every arrow they bring out of their quiver and they sling or they put in the string and pull and release, it is aimed at something. There must be a target. There must be an animal there to be brought down. Now, most times, most of us, we stretch our strings. Our arrows are there, but they are aiming at nothing. Number two, so our first objective, we want to break it. We want to break that. We want to disrupt it. So we're saying aim number one is to disrupt functional aimlessness. Number two, we want to crystallize what I call a primary directive. There is something that is primarily directional, that gives you focus in life. We want to crystallize it. What is that thing? Number three, we want to identify and dismantle clarity killers. There are things that I call clarity killers. What are clarity killers? There are things that are like fogs that come to your, have you driven when it's raining before? You see, the rain, when it's very heavy, creates a barrier to your sight, to your vision. Right? So in the same vein, when it comes to you achieving, when it comes to you becoming, when it comes to you reaching your goal, there are things that we call clarity killers. They are like fogs, all right? They cover your screen, they cover your eyes, so you are not able to see, okay? Or you are not able to see clearly. You may see, but not very clear, okay? So we want to dismantle, we want to identify and dismantle such things. We call them clarity killers. And number four, we want to ignite what I call our calculated momentum. Oh, amazing. See, when we get to this point tonight, I will be extremely excited that we've been able to ignite what I call your calculated momentum. Now, not just momentum, but calculated momentum. I think I've said this before, maybe not here, right? So these are the 4 objectives, right? Maybe I should go over it. I should go over them again. Number 1, want to disrupt functional aimlessness. Number 2, want to crystallize primary directive, or what we call a primary directive. And then we want to identify and dismantle clarity killers. And then finally, we want to ignite our calculated momentum. So if you're with me tonight, you are in for a beautiful, beautiful time. And I ask that please don't go anywhere. Instead, share. So I'll give you that time now to share before I enter, because I'm about to enter into the thoughts for today. What you do for me now, please share. Get somebody on board. Get the link. Send to someone. Get them on board, please. We need people to join this. There are people that are just walking about aimlessly that need this. So please, let's get them on board as I move forward. You know, one of the things I talked about, or I've talked about before in one of my sessions, I don't know whether it's here, whether it's on Zoom, or no, not Zoom now, maybe one of our sessions that we had, or one of the UpLift summits. Okay, no, I'm not sure it was UpLift Summit now, but I think one of the sessions that I've had, you know, one of the things I said or I talked about is the fact that someone like Obama, you know, people call that name a lot. Of course, for whatever reason, you may not be a fan of him. I used to be a fan. I'm no longer a fan for some other reasons. But as it is today, Obama is one person that when it comes to focus, when it comes to clarity, when it comes to what I call calculated momentum, Obama is a role model when it comes to that, right? And the reason is because I have seen, or I see, or I heard how this man rose from wherever he was to becoming one of the greatest, you know, men on earth. Meaning that at that time, any American president, even till today, is arguably the greatest man or the most important person on earth to become an American president. It is that serious, okay? And Obama was able to achieve that. Now, for us to be able to look at that, I want to show you a little bit of, or tell you a little bit of what happened. Obama, his mates, his classmates talked about him, how that while he was in high school, he was very, very clear as to what he wanted to become. So he didn't just stumble into becoming the president and the first Black president of America. He was clear about it from the get-go. He was very clear about the steps he needed to take. That's why I call them calculated momentum. Not momentum that you just sit down and, okay, oh, no, let's run. That kind of momentum does not get you anywhere, all right? But there's a momentum that makes you achieve within a short time something that other people are, you know, trying very hard to achieve over a long period of time. It is when it is calculated, meaning that it is precise, it is concise. You know the steps you're taking per time, and you are serious about them, so that when your energy, because momentum has to do with energy, has to do with force, has to do with advancement, has to do with movement, has to do with speed. So when you are putting all of that into whatever it is you are trying to achieve, let it be that it is calculated. You're not just jumping into anything, right? It's the reason why I see people most times. Have you noticed something? There are people who just jump into things. And when I mean jump now, I mean, okay, what they do is this. When there's a wave, something comes in vogue, you just see them jump on it. It is momentum, but it's not calculated momentum. It is some form of advancement, but it's not calculated, so it doesn't last. So today, everybody's selling akara. They jump in and sell akara with them, only for them to realize that this akara thing does not last. So it's becoming saturated. Everybody now is doing akara. Okay, let's go look for something else to do. And you see them jumping out of that and entering into something else. So that is how it happens for many people. And in Nigeria, we do a lot of that. The moment somebody begins to do something in your street, watch out. Many other people begin to do the same thing on that same street. The moment another person comes with something else and they say, oh, this thing is becoming viable. It looks like people have, a lot of love for this, and it's going to be viable. Money is going to come in. You see them, flow with that again. The reason is because even though they have momentum, they have speed, they have force, it is not calculated. It is bandwagon effect. And you can't, at this level of your life, join the bandwagon. You will not be one of such people who will just live life aimlessly. So I want to ask you a question. And my question is simple. Where are you going? That's my question. If you can answer this question for me, it will enable us to be able to get to where we're getting to. If you can answer this question clearly, without ambiguity, without you know what I'm talking about, that you are able to answer this question without having to think, without having to, then it means that we have achieved what we want to achieve. But if you have not been able to crystallize your clear goal, your clear purpose, then we are here to help you. Right? So I'm about to enter very clearly into what I have for today. And I'd like you to join and, enjoy the ride. My joy is that my slides are very short. I think I have altogether 10 slides. I've taken 2 out of it already. So I have like 8 slides left. And those 8, I'm going to be jumping on them one after the other. These are things that you already know, some of us, but we want to see how we can practically maximize these things and see how we can work them out. All right. So please, I'd like you to be very, very involved in this. If you have a writing material, please carry a writing material and write. If you have a notepad, why not? If you're on Zoom and you can do some kind of a recording, why not? I would have done that myself also. There is a place where I can take notes on Zoom so that we can have that opportunity, but then it looks like I may not be able to do that at the moment. So please, those of us on Facebook, on YouTube, wherever you are, let's get this rolling. All right. Appreciate you. So we move on as quickly as possible. Thank you so much. Now, this is what I want to say at first. The myth of being busy is not the same as the reality of what? Of being effective. I say that again. There is a myth of being busy. It's not the same as the reality of being effective. You can be busy and not effective. Activity is not always progress. There are people that are you are active. You are everywhere. Everybody's talking about you. You are in church, you are at home, when they're having something online, you are there. Too much activity, but when you look at your life, there is no progress. I'm hoping that you are able to understand what I'm talking about. Please, if there's any time or at any time you want me to make it, thank you so much for that recording. I appreciate you. So recording is in progress already, so we can take that up. So I go again. Being busy is not the same thing as the reality of being effective. The myth is a myth. The myth is that when I'm busy, I am seen to be expending energy, I am sweating, then I'm making progress. No. You do not make progress by being busy. You make progress by being effective. And being effective can only be measured when there is a clarity of purpose and where you're going to. Because we can't tell you have achieved when you have not hit a mark. Meaning there must be a mark that you will meet or that you will hit that will make us know or that will make you know that you have achieved. So if it is not measurable, if there is nothing measurable, something that you can, for instance, as a student, you know that I have my SS3 exam to write, for instance, and I'm aiming for a JAM score of, say, 300, okay? Right? Now, one of my friends, we spoke some days ago, and he was telling me how that his son got 252. I'm like, wow. In the same time that people are getting one something, you got 252, and any university he wants to go to right now, he can go to. As a matter of fact, he has passed the cutoff mark he wants to do engineering. That's way above what he needed. All right, I'm using that as an example, right? And he told me, he said that's the target they set for the young man was, I think, 230 or 200 or something like that. But then he made 250. So we can measure it and we can say this guy actually made it. Why? Because there's something to measure it against. So activity is not always progress. You can't tell yourself that because I'm active in church, I'm active at home, I'm active in my workplace, I'm active, I'm making progress. No. A rocking chair moves constantly but goes nowhere. You know that, right? A rocking chair is constantly moving, but it goes nowhere. So there are many people who are like the rocking chair, constantly moving but going nowhere, constantly in motion but no result. So because effectiveness is measured by functionality. If you're writing, I told you there'll be a lot to write. All right. This is how I talk. I talk by inspiration. So as they're coming, I'm releasing them. I may not be able to remain. Okay, we can hear you, sir. Thank you so much. So I may not be able to remember everything and tell you everything, but I hope that you're jotting something down or you're recording something down. All right. So your effectiveness, right, is measured by your functionality in the direction. You're not moving in a direction that is, in the same line to your destination, then you are just wasting your time. Okay, I hope you know that everybody travels. But the question is, where are we traveling to? Everyone travels. Everyone is driving. Where are we driving to? Have you ever entered the road and while you're going, and somebody just asks you, where are you going to? Say, I just saw people driving, so me too, I'm driving. You can imagine how people would actually think you're a lunatic. Yeah? They will actually look at you and think that there's something about you that is lunatic. Effectiveness is measured by functionality. So, like I said, the rocking chair makes constant motion, right? But it's achieving nothing. It's going nowhere. It's a rocking chair. It may rock you to sleep, but at the end of the day, that chair does not live where it is. And please don't be like the rocking chair. So that's why I said that there is a myth of being busy versus the reality of being effective. Don't be busy at the expense of being effective. I say that again. Don't be busy at the expense of being effective. Being effective means there's result that will come out of the work you are doing. Being busy simply means doing things, carrying out activities. All right? Also note this one down. Clarity is the difference between a flashlight and a laser. Have you seen a laser beam before? Right? Now, one lights up a room, the other cuts through steel. Now, when they want to cut steel, metal, steel, they don't use flashlight. Flashlight is bright. It can make a room feel bright. It can make your path, if you're using a flashlight to walk on the road, it can make your path to actually shine brighter so that you can see what is in front of you, right? But it does not have the same kind of impact that laser beam has. Laser is not bright. It is not very, very flashy. It's not everywhere. Don't be everywhere. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what we want to break. I told you that the first thing we want to disrupt that thing, that thing that makes us feel that when we're running up and down, we are doing something. Functional aimlessness, like I called it earlier. I want to break that down. I want to disrupt it so that it doesn't happen to you anymore going forward. That's number one thing. It's the reason why I'm talking about the fact that you don't be a flashlight, be a laser beam. A laser beam is what is used to cut through steel. When they do manufacturing, high-tech manufacturing, they use laser beams to cut through steel. It's not the same with a flashlight, even though both of them have lights. All right? One fills the room, the other cuts through steel. All right? Okay. The third thing I want you to take note of. Most people live by default rather than by design. I said most people live by default rather than by design. There is something called default, your default setting, for instance. When you have a default setting, most of your appliances that come, they have default setting. You are the one that will customize them and make them to fall into the design that you want them to be for the functionality that you want to have from them. Oh, yes. So I say that again. Most people live by default setting. This is how I am. So I behave like this. I walk like this. I do like this. I walk. You see, you are everywhere. But there are people who walk by design or they live by design, meaning that every step they take and whatever they do is targeted at something. It's by design. they've been able to bring themselves to the point where certain things happen to them, not because it happens to every other person, but because it is designed to happen to them by themselves. I give you an example, right? I made a decision that I will do certain things every day. Since the beginning of this year, right? I think today is the day 100 and if I correct, 118 or 119 now of the year. In case you do not know, I'm counting my year day by day. I think today should be day one. It's on my phone. If I open it now, I'll be able to see it. I think today is day 119, if I'm very, very, very correct. What that means is that out of 365 days, 119 are gone. And what that also tells me is that I'm asking myself a question, because that thing I said I would do every morning, am I doing it every morning? And guess what? Till today, till this very moment, I did it this morning. It's called living by design, not by default. So I'm living by design. I'm not living by how life comes. Default means the way it comes. It means anyhow it goes. It means this is how it is built. Let us just do it like that. By design means it is very strategic. By design also means I'm very, very deliberate and intentional about it, and I'm doing it according to how I planned it to be. That's design. So when you live your life by design, you are living according to how you have planned your life to be. So when we say know where you're going, we're trying to say, see, what have you designed for yourself? What is the destination? What is it looking like? And this destination we're talking about, if you must get there, what are the things you must do to get what we call calculated momentum to take you there? All right? So most people live by default, not by design. All right? We'll shift this narrative at the end of this very, very broadcast. So don't forget, please keep all your questions. I'll go deeper into some of these things. Now, there's something I call the anatomy of clarity. The anatomy of clarity has three basic parts, all right? Anatomy of clarity has three basic parts. The first part is vision, second part, values, and third part, velocity. I said that again. There are three parts in the anatomy of clarity. I'm teaching from my experiences and from myself, all right? Now, have you noticed that many of us, we come up at the beginning of the new year, we have what we call the New Year resolution. Many people do it. Some don't anymore. Some just live their life by default. Now, having New Year resolution or having a plan or having what I call goals for the year, right, is part of living your life by design, so that you don't just fall for anything, right? Is that not what they say? If you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. So there are many people that just fall for anything. The reason why many people are moving in certain areas or moving in certain ways is probably because they do not understand that they've cheated themselves. So because they've cheated themselves, they now have to live their lives based on what other people dictate for them. If other people are dictating for you what your life should be, right? Okay, I'm seeing, is there a question? If other people are determining for you. Okay, I understand. No problem. I think I'll have it recorded. You can come back to this Facebook Live. You can come back to this and be able to watch it again, all right? So what I'm saying is this. Design what your life should look like. Live your life by design. Don't live your life by, don't live your life anyhow. Don't allow people to decide for you what the outcome of your life should be. Be the one to decide for yourself what the outcome of your life will look like. And it can only happen when you live your life by design and not by default. All right. So I said the anatomy of clarity. When we want to look at what clarity is about and how it works, how it functions, there are three parts. I said the first part is vision, the second part is values, and the third part is velocity. Now, I'm going to crystallize all of these things and get to a point where we begin to take specific actions. Because, like I said, at the end of the day, calculated momentum must be in place. Calculated momentum. Don't just run with speed, but run with speed calculatedly, knowing exactly where you're going to, so that when you hit the mark, you know you've hit the mark. Now, before I go into vision, I want to ask, what is your plan for 2026? This is April. what was, I don't think I should use what is, okay? What was your plan in 2026? I don't even want to ask you what you do, okay? I don't want to ask you what you do. I just want to know what your plans are. You don't need to tell me. Are we together? Right? You don't need to tell me. What I'm saying is that you don't need to tell me now. But I hope you have them written. What you plan for 2026? What do you plan to achieve? By the 23rd of September, my year always starts. That's my birthday. I practically design my life like that. 23rd of September, I always have my retreats. And during that time, my vision for the next year is planned. So I enter into another year with that thing that I'm already pursuing. And I begin pursuing them before I enter into the new year. Right? So September 2025, I wrote certain things down. This is April, and I can tell you that quite a number of them I've been able to achieve them. You know why? The vision is clear. There's clarity of where I'm going to. And it's personal. That's why I'm saying it is personal clarity, not general clarity, not public clarity, not corporate clarity. It is you first. Before we talk about your organization, can we talk about you? What does the finish line look like? That's what vision is talking about. What does your finish line look like? What can I say will be the point where I'll say, yes, I have achieved? What is your finish line? And if you have it, it must be clearly written and placed where you constantly see it. It's on my phone. I have it written. It's on my phone. Every time I go to my phone, I still see them. And like I said, there are certain part of them that I said I was going to do from the beginning of January 1st, 2026, till this very moment, April the 29th. And like I said, I think it's 119 days or 107, between 117 and 119, I'm not sure now, days in this year. And every day, I'm doing it every day. Why? The vision is clear. The goal is clear. Am I achieving it? Absolutely. Absolutely. This is not me trying to, many times, I realize with public speaking, public speakers try to make things look ambiguous, or they try to make you feel that they are doing something that every other person is not doing. No, I'm not that kind of a person. This is a mentorship class. This is not public speaking. This is a mentorship class. And in this mentorship impact session, what we want to do is to bring ourselves to that point where we can truly say that this man, what he's saying, is making impact in my life. If not, I've wasted my time here. If I want to do public speaking, I know how to, organize that. But this one is a mentorship impact class or session. So I want us to look at it very clearly. I asked the question again: what does the finish line look like for you in 2026? What will you say at the end of 2026? This is where I have gotten to, and that was where I planned to get to. What does the finish line look like? Everyone that is engaged in a 100 meters dash knows that my finish line is 100 meters. Those that are going for 400 meters, those that are going for marathon, they know where the end point is. If your end point is not determined from the beginning, what is happening with you is that you have no vision, you're just running. So, and you won't be able to say when you have reached because nothing was written. My wife graduated. She did her convocation some weeks ago, and I'm seeing Mrs. Busayo here, right? Sir Jimmy. She's gotten her second master's. Now, these things don't just happen. People are deliberately setting goals for themselves, and the finish line is very clear. Until I wear that gown and the hat, right? And they give me my bali, like we call it in Nigeria, my certificate in my hand. I have not reached the finish line yet. So you know when you are on track, you know when you are off track, because the finish line is very clear. And I said that's the first part of the anatomy of clarity. The second part of the anatomy of clarity is what I call values. When you have vision, what are the non-negotiables? What are your non-negotiables? That's values. What are the things that everybody around you knows that if it comes to Nelson, you can no, he's a no for him. This one is no for him. You can do any other thing with him, but this one is no for him. If it comes to Jesse, you can be sure that Jesse will not allow for this, because this is not Jesse. What are your non-negotiable values? We're trying to say, what are those things that are very important to you, so much so that you can commit yourself to in the journey to your finish line? Don't forget, the finish line is your vision. Your values are the non-negotiables, the principles that you uphold, that you're going to be living by to help you get there. So we're talking about clarity. This is the second leg of clarity. So clarity stands on 3 legs. Clarity stands on 3 legs. And these 3 legs are so important that you must be able to have those 3 together for you to be very, very progressive, for you to advance, and for you to achieve. All right? So now we have the values, and thirdly, we have what I call velocity. Now, because I do not want to go too far tonight, I'm going to try to zoom in on a few things. Maybe we'll have to continue this session again, or the same topic in our next session next Wednesday, right? Because what I want us to be doing now, every Wednesday evening, we'll just come together, we discuss some of these things, have people share with us. You have questions, you need, how do I get clarity? What do I need to do? How do I know where I'm going to? Some of those kind of things. Yes, fine. We can handle some of those things. So I don't want to talk too much so that we can have time for people to ask questions, right? But not before I finish on the 3 legs of what? Of clarity. And I said the anatomy of clarity is determined by 3 parts. Number 1, vision. Number 2, values. Number 3, velocity. I've talked about vision. I talked about vision is what the finish line. That's what you're seeing. What does the end point look like for you? Number 2, your values. What does the, what are the things that are your non-negotiables? What are the values, the principles that you hold there that will help you? That's what we call the guardrails. The guardrails. When you're climbing the staircase, right? You see those rails that you hold onto so that you don't fall, right? They keep you steady. They keep you focused. Those are your values. And number 3, velocity. Once the fog lifts, once there is clarity, once your eyes are clear, how fast can you go? That's velocity. Velocity is simply speed, right? Don't forget, we talked about the fact that at the end of the day, one of our greatest aims or greatest objectives is to ensure that we develop what I call calculated momentum. And momentum has everything to do with speed. Okay, I think something's happening. The Zoom, we need to come back on it here. Yeah, please. For those of us that are on Zoom, we need to return back on it. So, but I am very hopeful that by our next time, we actually have a paid platform, but I do not know how many of us will be able to log into that. All right. So, but we have a paid platform for those on Zoom, because many people are on Zoom. Try to see how we can work that out. Okay. So for now, we'll continue with the Facebook Live and the YouTube Live. So let's just go ahead. I'm getting us to a point, to a crescendo where we can begin to round up. So I've talked about clarity, and I said there are three major legs upon which clarity stands on. Vision, thank you. Vision, values, and velocity. Vision, values, and velocity. So I've talked about vision. I said, the question I asked is, what does your finish line look like? Number 2, your values. What are your non-negotiables? What are the principles that guard you? What are your guardrails? And number 3, velocity. How fast can you move once the fog lights lit, or once the fog is cleared off? Once there is no ambiguity, once there is no distraction, when there is no, I think, that is already done away with. What is your velocity? How fast can you move? That's what velocity is about, all right? So we'll talk about that again in details. So I want to give us a little bit of the cost of ambiguity. There's something I call the cost of ambiguity. Many of us do not know that ambiguity costs us so much. And when I'm saying it costs us so much, it costs a lot. Ambiguity is one of the killers of destinies. Ambiguity is one of the killers of great visions. Ambiguity is one of the killers of great potentials, right? Ambiguity is, not being able to know where you are going because you are covered with too many things. Ambiguity carries something that is simple, makes it look, covered with many, many things. Ambiguity. When something is ambiguous, it means it's confusing. Simple word. Ambiguity makes you not to see clearly where you're going to. So, and many of us, what we're dealing with, what is making us not to achieve is practically what? Ambiguity. What is making us not to get to the point where we need to get to is ambiguity. And many of us do not know how to deal with it, but we're going to deal with it tonight, all right? Now, when you do not know where you're going, you become a permanent passenger in someone else's vehicle. I don't know who wrote this. I saw it, I wrote it down somewhere. So when you do not know where you're going, you become a permanent passenger in someone else's vehicle. So there are many of us that are in vehicles that are going nowhere. What that actually means is that you are going somewhere, but that's not where you're supposed to go to. You are going somewhere that someone else is taking you to. That's not your destination. It's not your destination. And number two, ambiguity breeds anxiety, while clarity breeds courage. Ambiguity breeds anxiety. Clarity breeds courage. When you're clear about what you're going to do, where you are going to, courage comes. There's confidence to work. There's the strength, the force, inner force, internal energy to make you achieve. But when there's ambiguity, you are anxious. There's anxiety. What do I do? How do I go about it? No. It's because there's no clarity. That's why we're talking about clarity tonight. All right. Now, for those of us that did not attend our last UpLift Summit that happened in February, this is for you. There's what we have developed that is called the Leap Forward Framework. It's the Leap Forward Framework. Actually, Leap Forward was our theme, right, for the UpLift Summit 2.0. So for those of us who attended UpLift Summit 2.0, you remember that the theme was Leap Forward. Okay, and we talked about the anatomy of growth, if you remember very well. And I said very clearly in my session, during my session that time, when we're talking, I said something about growth. And I said growth is not just increase. Many of us think that because I'm increasing or I am gaining, I am growing. No, growth is not increase. Growth is actually not profit. So people are wondering, what is this man saying? I thought if I make more money, I'm growing. No, sir, you're not growing. Growth is consolidated increase. Growth simply says that I won't be the same way I was yesterday by virtue of the gain that has come in today. Simple. I have not grown if I am still at the same level I used to be, despite the fact that something has come in. So what has come in does not translate to growth. It is a fuel for growth. So profit comes in to help you grow. Profit is not growth. Oh, I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. So age does not make you grow. No, age gives you what it takes to grow. Eating, when you take things in, right? It's not growth. Food is not growth. But food is what gives you what it takes to grow. So that I am not the same size I used to be when I was a baby. Why? By virtue of eating, it is not what I ate that is the growth. It is what I have become now that is the proof of growth. Meaning that my cells have multiplied, my tissues have grown, my bones have also. What I'm trying to say is this: growth is not measured by profit. Growth is measured by consolidation. Meaning that when I get something, when something enters into me, when something comes to me, growth is actually not change of position. Growth is actually not change of level. That's not growth. Growth is what happens to you when the level changes. So there are people, for instance, who are managers now. They were executives before, but now they're managers, but there is nothing that has changed about them. The position only changed. No, you didn't grow. You only changed position. But are we together at all? I think I'm beginning to drive us too much. Please, you can send in, just make a comment. Let me know where we are at. So there's what we call, or what we designed that we called, or we have termed it the Leap Forward framework, and it's beginning to guide almost everything we're doing. So if you're part of our mentorship sessions, you're going to be hearing a lot of this, the Leap Forward framework. Now, Leap Forward makes you move from where you are to where you should be. Okay, so you leap forward when you grow. So when we talk about the anatomy of growth, we began to talk about what does it take to grow. All right. You remember those of us that did science, especially if you did biology, they must have taught you mitosis, meiosis, those kind of things, how cells break, how cells divide and form other cells, all of those things. That is how life is built to grow. You are not expected to be at the same level that you were yesterday. If by today you are still the same place or in the same place you were yesterday, you have not grown. Even though you must have made profits, you have not grown. Even though you must have brought in gains, you have not grown. What makes us to know that you have grown is that you are able to show that I am no longer at the level. Even in my thoughts, the frontiers of my mind have changed so much that this is where I am now. This was what I used to think before, but this is what I think right now. All of these things must come together. So the Leap framework, or the Leap Forward framework, comes with 3 platforms. The platform number 1 is what we call precision. We're talking clarity now, right? Precision. Number 2, pace. Number 3, power. I say that again. Precision, pace, power. That's our Leap Forward framework. This is our Leap Forward framework. It's called precision, pace, power. With these 3, you are sure to grow. When there's precision, there's clarity, there is that about it. I know where I'm going to, and I'm ready to give my best to it. I develop the pace, understanding how my season dictates my speed. Our pace is actually not speed. Oh, but are we together tonight? Now, pace is actually not speed. Speed talks about how fast. Pace talks about how consistent. Can we delve into this tonight, or I should leave it here so that we can round up? I think many people may have questions to ask. So precision has to do with identifying the one thing that changes everything. Precision, narrowing down on that thing, zooming down and making it the thing. Precision, you are precise, you are accurate. And then pace talks about consistency, not speed. If I am taking 1 step per minute, 1 step per minute, my pace, it is how consistent. And many of us, that's what we lose out of it. We've developed clarity, we know where we're going, but we've not developed pace. And when I was talking about pace at the UpLift Summit, I began to talk about the fact that there's something that is called in pace, there's something that is called rhythm. Rhythm, I'm going to talk too much tonight, and I don't want to do that. And I'm saying that it's already 8:30. Okay, let me see how I can round. I just tie this one up. Then we can call people that have 1 or 2 things to contribute. I'll give you the opportunity to do that, right? But I will stop at pace. Maybe if I can get to power, I'll stop at power. So talking about pace, I mentioned something called rhythm. Rhythm is not sound. Rhythm is a combination of repeated sound. Rhythm is a combination. When you say develop a rhythm, those of us that are into music, you know what a rhythm is. Okay. For instance, you bring in some chords. When you play chords, first of all, you have what we call notes. Notes are the ones we have do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. That is what we call them notes, right? When you put a combination of notes together, they become chords, right? So when you see a keyboardist playing, he's playing chords, right? He holds like 4 notes together, sometimes 6 or even more, right? To create a unique sound. Now, when those chords are repeated over time, it becomes what we call rhythm. And your rhythm is what determines your pace. Many of us have not developed what we call the rhythm of success. So you are just doing too many things, but you have not been able to develop the kind of pace that is needed for you to win. So success will only happen when your pace has been determined. And your pace is not my pace. I give you an example. I can take 5 steps per minute or 100 steps per minute. It is my pace, not yours. Yours can be 10 steps per minute. But when you are consistently doing it, what is happening to you is that you have developed a pace that works for you, and it makes your job, it makes your livelihood, your engagement, your functionality maximum or maximal. So maximal functionality is a product of pace that has been well defined. So don't just stop at precision, move to pace. And don't just stop at pace, we move to what we call power. So we say these are the 3 cardinal points when we talk about yes, thank you so much. I got that. So when we're talking about moving forward, gaining clarity, where are you going, and all of that, these 3 are very important: precision, pace, and power. All right. So I want to stop at power because of our time. I'll stop at power. There are more things to discuss. Maybe we'll continue with this next week. We'll do a part 2 of this next week. Power has to do with leveraging your unique strengths to sustain the journey. Now, what are the unique strengths that you have to help you sustain the journey? Don't forget, you are precise. There's precision. Your vision is clear. You know where you're going to. You know what you want to achieve at the end of 2026. You know what you want to achieve by the time you're 40. Right? I told people then that by the time I become 40, these are the things I am expecting to have gotten. This is where I expect to have gotten to, and all of that. Right? Now, what happened to me was that when I was getting close to 40, there was this unusual restlessness, because I knew that I had set a target for myself. At 40, this is where I should be. Right? Now, precision, clarity, conciseness, knowing where you're going to. And then number 2, pace. Your pace, I've talked about already. It's nothing to do with speed. Your pace is not your speed. Your pace is your consistency in whatever speed you have chosen for yourself. So if I'm doing 2 steps per second, that's fine. That's my pace. But being consistent in it is what makes it pace. Number 3 is what I call the power. Now, your power has to do with what can I leverage to give me what I want. Now I've defined my path, my precision is in place. I've been able to identify my pace, how I want to go, 2 steps per time, 1 degree in 2 years, that's pace. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Right? You're doing your master's now. When you're done with your master's, what about your PhD? Now, all of those things, have you outlined them down? What are the pace? How do you want to go? Right? Okay. Maybe for instance, because we're talking about growth now, you are looking at how your business can grow, and you're saying, okay, I will introduce one new product per year. This year, in my business, in my shop, maybe you're selling provisions and stuff like that. There are certain things you've not brought in, but okay, every year I will grow by bringing in a new product or a new product line. Okay, so what you are doing at that moment is that you are determining the pace you want to go. And then number 3 is what I call power. Power has nothing to do with physical energy. It has everything to do with leverage. What is leverage? What you can use to advance what you have. Leverage is simply looking at it can be what someone gives to you. It can be something that you are getting from another person. As a matter of fact, leverage in the financial terminology, leverage has to do with using other people's money to make gain. That's what leverage is. So, for instance, take a loan is a leverage. You're using people's money in investment. It's an investment language called leverage, that you take what is not yours but is given to you so that you can use it to profit. Of course, by the time you're giving back to the person, you may be giving back with some interest and all this kind of thing. So it's leverage. So there's leverage, financial leverage. There is a relationship leverage. There's educational leverage. What is your power? What are you bringing in? What is that uniqueness that you're bringing in that will help you be able to accomplish your goals? That's your power. I'm going to stop at this point. We'll continue from here next week because of our time. It's already 8:37. Next week, by God's grace, we'll start 7:30 on the dot so that we will not spend too much time and give time for people to ask questions. So I want to appreciate you all. It's time for me to get your questions. Those of us that are on Zoom, if you have questions, you can raise your hand. It's the time to ask questions. But I hope you understood what I'm trying to say. Leverage. I've talked about the fact that there's a need for you to be clear. I've talked about the myth of busyness, being busy, against being what? Effective. They are not the same. You can be busy doing nothing. You can have too many activities. And the truth is that many of us have too many activities. At the end of the day, effectiveness is zero, but activities are plenty. So the myth is real. Please, this myth is very real. What I'm talking about is very, very real. It's something that many people have a problem with. And they don't even know that they have a problem with it. Being busy versus being effective. Being busy is a myth. Something tells you that I am making progress because I am busy, but you're actually not. All right? And especially, don't forget 2027 is coming. And many people, especially those of us that do a lot of politicking and politics and all of that, this is where you see a lot of busy people that are busy doing nothing. What I call functional aimlessness. Oh, God. Somebody will say that I'm speaking too much English now. It's called functional aimlessness. Please don't be engaged in functional aimlessness this year and for the rest of your life. All right. So I'm pausing now. I want to take questions on YouTube. You have questions for me? Okay. I also mentioned earlier, live by design, not by default. All right. So thank you very much. I'm seeing that many of us wrote a lot of things down. Thank you, Preacher Shedrack. I'm seeing a lot. All right. Any other person? Anybody has questions? You have something to talk about? You want me to? Maybe on Zoom? Anybody on Zoom? A question? You want us to talk about it? Anybody, please? On Facebook? You can drop it in your comments, in the comment section, if you have a question that you want us to deal with. Okay, so I'm seeing Sandra, Enore, I'm seeing many people here. Juliet, Ifyong, thank you so very much. Every one of you on Zoom, thank you. On Facebook Live, thank you. Okay, please go ahead, Sophie. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Oh, wow. I like that. The first practical step to take when it comes to gaining clarity about your life, about your vision, about your future, right? There are a few things that you need to do, right? But there is something that I always, in fact, I'm tempted to go ahead of myself because my thought was to deal with some of these things by next week. But thank you for bringing this up. It is what I call developing a compass. Developing a compass. And it is called developing your internal compass. That is the first practical step. So, and I usually say, clarity is not about having a 20-year plan. It's about having a 20-minute conviction. Should I say that again? It is not about having a 20-year plan. It's about having a 20-minute conviction. Let me use that one. All right? Now, And the practical step to take is, first of all, withdraw. Withdraw from everything you're doing. Withdraw from the busyness and the noisiness of your contemporary society. Come out of the noisiness around you. Come into a place of seclusion, because it's your internal compass you're trying to what? To develop. So to develop your internal compass, you first of all need to strip yourself of every noise, every distraction. I didn't even talk about distraction today. The fog effect. There's a fog effect. The distraction. What fog does is to distract, is to cover you, to blur your vision. All right. I'll talk about that next week. But now, your internal compass must be developed. And to develop that, you need to first of all strip yourself of whatever encumbers you, whatever makes you very busy without being effective. You have to strip yourself of that, first of all. Number two, reflect internally. What exactly do I want to achieve? That's how to develop clarity. What exactly? Because you need to gain precision. What do I want to achieve? What do I want my life to look like? And guess what? This question can take you another 3 weeks if care is not taken. It's the reason why this mentorship class is supposed to help us. See, the idea is not for me to come and bamboozle us with too many English and all of that. No, the idea is to make you sit down and think. You live here, by the time you're coming back next week, you have already sat down, you have thought about yourself. You've asked yourself questions. Questions like, what is my purpose? What am I trying to achieve? Why am I here? What is my mission? So that's how to gain clarity. That's how to gain clarity, by answering questions. So the question number one is, who am I? In the whole of this, who am I? Am I just one person that is passing by? Am I just one of the people in the world? They say we should go to the world and multiply. So I was one of the multiplier effects in this world. I was one of those that came by virtue of that multiplier mandate. Go and multiply. So we're multiplying. No. Who am I? And that question, who am I, will begin to take you to, why am I here? What am I here to do? What am I supposed to accomplish? What am I pushing towards? But if you do not know who you are, you cannot know where you are going to. So that clarity will begin from internal, developing your internal compass, defining your North Star, to know that this is where I am headed. So first of all, like I said, strip yourself of all the encumbrances, strip yourself of all the ambiguity, the noisiness, and then take yourself to the point where you will sit down and begin to ask yourself questions. I got to the point that I asked myself, Nelson, who are you? And I began to realize that I am a people developer. In a nutshell, that's my core. There are many other things I can do, right? But there is something that drives me, something that I can't do without. When it comes to developing people, I can't do without it. Possibly that's the reason why I am a pastor. I develop people. I can be sacrificial. As a matter of fact, there's something when it comes to developing people, to see people becoming the best version of themselves, which is the reason why I'm a leader, naturally. I want to see people achieve. I want to see people become. I want to see people grow. I want to see people excel. So that part of me does something inside of me. What does it do? It makes me sacrifice. I give my time. I give my energy. See, sometimes my wife will tell me, you are, how did she use it? Voltron. Is it Voltron now? A defender of the universe. Yes, Voltron. Some other times, there are many names that my wife used to call me. And one of the persons, if you're married, one of the persons that know you or that knows you a lot is your spouse, especially when you have lived together for a long time, right? They can tell your heartbeat. So your heartbeat is one of the things that will begin to show where you really belong, who you are. What is your heartbeat? What is that thing that defines you? What is that thing that makes you want to come out of your comfort zone to achieve? What is that thing that you won't be able to sleep the moment it comes to you? You are already defining your internal compass. You begin by, who am I? And then, what am I here for? What am I supposed to do? Now, answering all these questions are the first steps you need to take. So next week, I'll be doing more of the practicals. I'll be doing more of the practicals on some of these things. All right. But was I able to answer your question? Beautiful. Please keep them till next week, because I'm seeing that we've taken quite enough a lot of time. Yeah. So there are many other things that will come out of this. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Any other person has a question before we call it a day? Anybody else? Anybody else? Jay, are we good? Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah, I'm seeing a question here. What do you do when you know your purpose, but the roads that lead there seems blurry or impossible? Thank you very much. I'll give you a hint. Is that okay? Julius, you're the one that has that question. I'll give you a hint. You know where you're going to. I understand. You know exactly where you're going to. You are sure, you're precise, right? There's no ambiguity, you are clear. But there are distractions around. That's why I talked earlier. I said part of what I wanted to discuss, which we do not have time for today, which we're going to be talking about next week, is what? The fog. There's what we call the fog effect, and there's what we also call the fog filters. So the fog effect is the blurriness that you feel by virtue of the fog that has come. The vision, you can't pursue it because there's something distracting you. Okay? So there is something you must develop. There's a power you must develop to keep you focused. We call them the fog filters. Now, what fog filters do is to clear the road so that you can see, to clear your path or your vision so that you can see, right? So one of it is that you must decide, like I said, some of these things, most of these things are internal. You must decide to stop seeing or stop looking at everything. One of the major problems that we have, especially when it has to be distraction, is that we look at everything. You are looking at everything. You are seeing everything. I decided at some point that, no, Nelson, you can't see everything. You are not God. The all-seeing eye is God's eye, not your own eye. There are things I refuse to see. And when I mean I refuse to see them, I really, really refuse to see them. So much so that at some point, some people ask me a question. Is it that you forgot what someone did to you? I say, yes, I forgot. And they're like, how? Now, there is a how. I wish next week, I'm sure we'll have a lot to deal with. Time is actually against us. I don't want us to continue tonight. See, you can actually condition yourself and bring yourself to. I was talking with a consultant the other time, and he was trying to understand me, and I was trying to explain. And I was like, wow, that he didn't know that it can happen. I said, yes, it can happen. Why? Because it is happening with me. I can see it. I decided not to look at certain things. And guess what? The moment it enters into my spirit, there are certain things I do. I take certain steps. And the moment I take those steps, I push those things away and they go. Okay. We'll talk about them next week. So, Julius, is there another question? Oh, my. Yeah? Okay, Juliet, let me hear you. Julius, we'll deal with that next week. We'll talk more about that next week. There are fog filters. We'll take the fogs out. Thank you. Thank you, Juliet. I can hear you absolutely, very clearly. You have a vision and the vision changed. Does it mean you failed? Juliet, can we push your question to next week? Because by the time to this thing now, we're going to be, because first of all, we need to understand what the vision is. And secondly, because if you understand what the vision is, your vision can tweak. Yes, it can be tweaked at some point because maybe certain understanding, privileged information you didn't have at some point, maybe the first time you set the vision. Yes, it can change. And it doesn't mean you're a failure. It actually meant that you were not clear from the onset, but now you're clear. And the moment you become clear, right, it will definitely, things have changed. There are many things that have changed, but there are certain things that have not changed with me. right? Why? Because there are certain things the things I call vision, or where I am going to, my mountaintop, my finish line, has mostly been the same. It has not really changed. But in the course of growth, there's something that growth does to you. Growth brings you in, it brings you in contact with evolution. It brings you in contact with evolving and progressive thoughts, evolving and progressive information. You know, visions also grow. Thank you so much, man of God. You can grow, or your vision can grow, right? That's why I said that there are many things we need to look at. If we begin to look at vision, the word vision, you now realize that sometimes what we call vision is actually not vision. But if it is vision, it will grow, because as you are growing, your vision will grow. As you are increasing, your vision will increase. As you are growing, the progress you are making will bring you in contact with other information that will strengthen what you have, or make it bigger, or add to it, or sometimes even alter it. Because now you're realizing that whatever you call the vision was not properly arranged. Now something new had come, or has come. All right, Juliet, did I answer your question at least a bit? Because what I'm trying to do is to just go over those questions. All right, thank you very much. Thank you. I get that. Okay, who else? Any other question before we bring this to a close? Okay. Anybody want to bring this to a close now? On Facebook, questions? No. Let me check YouTube. YouTube Live. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, clarity. It's not about having a 20-year plan. It's about having a 20-minute conviction. You see the word conviction? It changes everything. We'll talk about more of that next week. Like I said, next week we want to do more practical realities. So I'll just touch a few of some of these things that we've talked about today. Then we can continue. Sorry. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much on YouTube. I think we've come to the end for today. Next week, Wednesday, we're starting 7:30 on the dot so that we can finish on time. Today, we didn't start on time, and that has affected how fast we've been able to go. Next week, we'll start, once it's 7:30 on the dot, we hit the ground running, and we're hopeful that everything goes well and goes smoothly for us. I want to appreciate you all. Thank you, Sammy J. Thank you so much. Aguchima, I appreciate you. Preacher Man. Oh, Preacher Shedrack, thank you so very much. Beatrice, I can't call all your names now. Thank you so much. All of you on Zoom, appreciate you. And please, next week, get somebody on board. There are many people that are looking forward to opportunities like this, and that's why we're here. All right. So, like I said, this is not for me. This is not public speaking. I'm not here to do public speaking. It's not public speech. It's mentorship session, right? And it's impact oriented. We want to see how we can build, right? Everyone get ourselves to that point that we become progressive, we become successful in life. So once again, thank you for taking all the time to be here. Don't have any question again. On Facebook, thank you so very much. Pastor Wale, thank you so much. I'm seeing you. Pastor Wale Fajana joined us. Many people joined. I don't even know how to start mentioning. Dr. Paul Obo, thank you. Sam, and many other people. In fact, I don't know. I'm just seeing many people there. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you all for taking out the time to be here with me. So please, next week, let's get people on board. I want to see how, at least on a weekly basis, we're sure that we are helping people grow. We're helping people build. We're helping them become great. All right? Thank you so much once again. Okay, beautiful. Yes, I've just been told by my manager, you can send questions, right? Send questions to me, either you can inbox me on Facebook or on WhatsApp. We already have our mentorship group. I think we can paste the link. Sophie, if it's possible for us, or you can just go to UpLift. Okay, yes, at UpLift with P-Nel, right? UpLift with P-Nel on Facebook. You just put the link there. Those that want to join the mentorship group, you can just join through that place. Okay, and we hope that that will become an opportunity for us to grow together. All right, thank you so very much once again, and thank you for being here. So I see you all next week, and more than this, because in fact, I'm surprised at the number of persons we have on Zoom, on YouTube Live. I'm shocked. YouTube is shocking to me, all right? And I'm hopeful that we have more than this next time. Thank you so much. Facebook is another place. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. So someone said we should add TikTok. We may not be able to do TikTok right now. We have 3 platforms already running, and it's a mentorship class. So we want something that can retain, that can be sustained. So you can come back to Facebook and watch this. You can come back to YouTube and watch. Of course, Zoom is recorded also, so you can come back and watch. But TikTok Live I don't think that there's no recording, so it just goes and it's gone, right? So, but we'll look at what we can do. Thank you all. Good night. Bye for now. What's happening on Zoom? Okay. Okay, you're posting it on Zoom or on Facebook? Okay, okay. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. What's happening on YouTube? It looks like we're having more people join us. What's happening? YouTube. We're done for today. We'll continue next week, yeah? So please, the funny thing, I'm not seeing everybody on YouTube. I don't know. Okay, if you're on YouTube, you joined, you're still live, please just say hi so that I know you're here, right? I'm talking of YouTube now. If you're there, you're just joining, and maybe you want me to know you're here, just say hi. But if not, we've come to the end for today, right? Thank you so very much once again. And I'll see you next week by God's grace. Thank you. Have a good night. Sophie, can we end the YouTube live now? Okay. I think we can end the YouTube. Thank you. Okay. Okay, are you posting the link on YouTube? You can just post that, right? Thank you all once again. Appreciate you all. Have a great, great, great time. Bye.